Okay, there we go. Now I'm learning.
Mm.
Where's Mike?
Oh, he's in a meeting, so that's why I'm representing Mike.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, because your screen say Mike, and I said, okay,
Oh,
Mike changed.
really? Is this
Yes,
Mike?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because he was using my computer for the meeting a few hours ago because he has some problem at his place for the those internet. Oh, okay.
It's okay. We can
Yeah,
see you both.
okay.
We can
Yeah,
see you
two
both.
for one.
Yeah.
Well, what we're going to do, folks, we're going to get started here now. So
Okay.
everybody shows up, we'll just let them in, and then I've got it's recording right now, so I'll be able to have that available. So last February, I went to Madeira Island. Nushin had a trip to Portugal, and we thought I would fly over to Madeira Island, and I was kind of impressed. I mean, it is pretty much it's not untouched. I mean, there's certainly hikers there, but it's a pretty unique area, pretty rugged landscape. I do find everything's either up or down. I mean, lots of hills, lots of tunnels when you're driving. I mean, it's not a very big island. You're probably only 2 hours each way on that island, but I was quite impressed with it. So uh, I'll go through a couple of slides here. One sec. Okay, so this is the island here. In around the bottom here, the bottom is the town of Funchal. So that's where we actually fly into. And from there, we're probably 2 hours to the west and an hour to the east. So it's not a very big island. Lots of summits. Driving there is really a challenge because lots of tunnels, lots of ups, lots and downs, mostly standard steering. So, you're going through all the gears. Some of the hikes I did, I needed to use all the gears to get up those hills. So it's going to be an interesting travel. We've got bus services to help us around the island. But essentially, that's Madeira Island right there. It's off mainland Portugal. And the way we do it is you fly into Lisbon, and we take a TAP airline to. So that's the plan. So I'll go back here one sec. So essentially, this is our site here. This is the Fun Tour site right now. Uh, we have some things here. It's February 8th to 18th, 11 days, 9 nights. Uh, it is a hiking trip, and I consider it an intermediate hiking trip. Everything I did there, I was there for 4 days, was very tough, very tough. Lots of ups, lots of down, lots of technical footing. Uh, and I try to get up early and do the sunrise and catch the sunset. Uh, so we're going to be a little careful with people that register to make sure they've got the abilities to do this trip. We have aligned with another hike leader a hike leader from the area, and Barbara's going to help out. So there's going to be the three of us on this trip. So it should be good. But it is very challenging hike. So we want to make sure everybody's at the same pace. So most people, I usually ask them some questions on their abilities. And most I know. Most of some of the people I'm doing one on Thursday night for people from Phoenix. Most of the people there I know, and most of the people here I know as well. So this trip just basically is $3,780, and that includes the airfare. Now there's two airfares. One is to obviously to Lisbon, and the other one is a domestic flight to Madeira Island. Includes the accommodation, breakfast, airport transfers, guided hikes, all taxes and services. Um, we're looking to bring 25 participants. We're not sure how we're going to get, how many we'll get, and it's a $300 deposit. So essentially, everything is on the website. As far as I got another person here to admit. So I'll go here now. Especially more so for the Americans right now. Like, I mean, you have your room type. You can select your room type here when you sign up, and then if you need a roommate, we're trying to match people up with roommates. And the flights were more so for the Americans right now because they don't have a direct flight. We have a direct flight from Toronto to Lisbon. So this is in there especially for more so for the American hikers. Okay. Madeira Island. Now we're parting with Jose, and he's from Madeira, and he's done a lot of big time hiking. This is actually Stairway to Heaven here. So this is his video on his Instagram. That's Stairway to Heaven. That's in the Pico height. So, for those of you that have done Angel's Landing, it's a pretty intense hike. It's about 11K of adventure. It's going to take 6 hours to do it just because of the technical portion of it. This is there he is in the back there. This is the ultra trail. They're doing the 100-kilometer ultra trail. But as you can see, I'll provide the link for his Instagram.
This is our journey on the Madeira Island Ultra Trail.
So again, I'm going to provide this so you can watch this video in entirety. And I'll provide the link to Joyce, his Instagram. So again, it was better for us to align with somebody to help us out in, obviously the interpretation, the history, a lot of the different things. Okay. The next one here. So this is where we're staying. We're staying in a 5-star. Actually, it's a 5-star hotel. Right on the ocean. So, normally we don't get nice accommodations like this, but this is very nice. And we're going to stay in one place. So when we come into Lisbon, we take a hopper flight over to Madeira, and then we'll have a shuttle that'll take us to the hotel. We're going to be able to sunrises there. Sunrises are great there. And there's also, you can get a lot of food on that beach. So you can walk left or right, and there's a lot of dinner. There's a lot of places where you can eat on the beach. Okay, so this is where we're staying. It is a 5-star resort, and then one of our first hikes is one of our first days is we're gonna have we got 2 hikes where we're gonna get up early to catch the sunrise, and that means we're gonna try to leave at 5 o'clock in the morning, 2 of the mornings. And it's worth it. Okay. This is Bica Cana Peak. So this is one of the sunrises we're going to try to get in the morning. And then this is 25 Fontes here. This is the waterfall hike. And then this is the Fennel Forest. Now, I don't know if anybody has been to a Fennel Forest before. It's like Lord of the Rings. It's in the cloud cover. So we want to catch that in the morning. So what we would do is on that day that we do this hike, we would get up early, get in the shuttle. We'd have to figure something out for breakfast. Obviously, we'll figure something out for breakfast, but we want to catch the sunrise on the peak. And then from there, the shuttle will take us to the Fennel Forest. And from there, we want that in the cloud cover. When I was there, I was taking pictures of all the trees. And I didn't realize I heard some breathing behind me. It was right like 5 feet behind me. So it is it's so fogged in. So the cloud cover comes in. So we want to have it like that. A lot of photographers come to this place to get that look. They want that fog. They want that in the Fennel Forest. So this is one of our hikes. Now, essentially we do the peak, which is on the left picture. Then we do the Fennel Forest, which is the right picture. And then we do 25 Fontes, which is 25 waterfalls. And essentially, that's a 12K hike, but it's pretty tough. It's a pretty tough hike. And again, the terrain is either up or down. I'm not sure what we'll do in elevation, but we'll see a number of waterfalls on that trip. Okay, on that day. The next one is the Sal Largo. So this is my video
folks.
here.
This is sunrise. I'll send a morning lunch thing, but here I am, close by Santa Cruz in Madeira Island, Portugal. So I'm right down by the coast, pretty narrow.
Yeah, I'm only like a foot from the drop off there. It's pretty, the walkways are pretty intense.
Hiking. I hiked about an hour and a half already. I started out over there just in the parking lot. I should have stayed there to catch the sunrise, but I seen some locals. So I ran up around, had to climb over 2 big hills to get to this point. So I'm going to try by lunch. I'm hoping to make it right to that little point. So that means I got to go in around here and get over that one, and then down into right about there lunchtime. So we'll see if I can get that done. Okay. You guys take care. Bye.
So this is one of the hikes that we're going to do. And I was never able to make it to the very end. There's a lighthouse at the end. There was a big drop off. So what we'll do is we'll do that hike in the morning, and then we're going to come back, and then we're going to get in a boat on the right picture, and that boat will take us around that lighthouse. Okay, so it's kind of it's a full day. I mean, obviously the hike is going to take us, it's I've only got it at 8K, but it's going to take us a while. We're not going to rush these hikes because the landscapes are beautiful. So we're going to take our time, get out to the point, come back, get in a boat, and that boat will take us around the lighthouse. So that's another day that we've got.
Morning, folks.
Okay, so the other one we have is the Aqua Valley. Again, everything is very high in the cloud cover. Deep valleys, very deep canyons, very high mountainous areas, lots of ups and lots of downs. Like I found that, I mean, even the town of Funchai is, I mean, everything is up or down. I mean, nothing's flat. Even to go to the grocery store, you're doing 500 feet of elevation just to go get groceries. So everybody is fit in that area because it's just so many hills, and the terrain's pretty rugged. So these are some of the valleys we'll be in, and we've got. I'm just going to give you a brief overview, and then we've got this. We've got like a mix of hard hikes and then easier hikes. This would be one of the easier hikes. We're going to go through some of the cities and town, like the villages, and some of the vegetation, see some of the growing areas. And so this is where our local guide will take us through these areas, through these inner villages. Okay, so again, we'll be out for the day. I mean, pretty much, our routine will be to get up in the morning, get breakfast, and get on the shuttle, and we'll be out for the day. Okay, that's the plan. Sometime most dinners will be back at the resort. We can have dinner on the beach or in the resort. That's something we can determine later. But, some mornings we're going to get up early to catch the sunrise because it's just too spectacular a place to miss out. And we've got one of the days, this is probably one of our biggest hike. This is Pico. We call this Pico to Pico. And I mean, I've got 11K in 5 hours. It'll probably take us 6 hours to do that. It's a very, very tough hike. This is where the Stairway to Heaven is. And we're going to get up in the morning, catch the sunrise, some great photo opportunities, very, very rugged countryside. We're not gonna hike fast. We're gonna, soak it in. And after we complete that hike, we're gonna get the shuttle to take us to Monty's Tropical Garden. So there's some waterfalls. It's a Japanese garden in just inside town there. So after our hike, so I'm trying to mix it up a bit. We're going to have some hard hikes and then some easier afternoons. Okay, so I try to give you a bit of both. And so here is the sunrise at Picos.
Here we go.
So the sunrises are spectacular. The colors are like the sky's on fire. You can see hikers there right now. That's pretty early morning. That's probably about 7 a.m. I mean, I left fairly early that day just because I wasn't sure where I was going. But you can see the other hikers all dug in. And then this is my lunch spot.
I have my lunch here in Madeira Island. And I got my sandwich, my jog of tea, and my Madeira mug. And I'm in Madeira, Portugal. This is my lunch spot.
So this is pretty typical of what you'll see in Madeira.
Aurelio.
Okay. There's a tunnel back up there, and you'll see a couple of tunnels up here.
Lots of tunnels. They just tunnel right through these mountains.
And there's
So sometimes you go up and over, and sometimes you just go right through a tunnel.
There's another tunnel. Anyways, this is my lunch spot. Okay.
And then we have the Fennel Forest here. So that's what we want. We want to be in the cloud cover. So we want to do that early morning. We've got wolves and cows and everything wandering around, but it's pretty impressive place to be. I'll have these videos. I'm recording this. I'll have this available for you so you can watch these videos. So there's lots of variety there. I mean, the Fano forest is pretty unique. I mean, I think it's the only thing I've never seen anything else like it, to be honest with you.
At the top of
So essentially, I mean, I just gave you a brief overview. I mean, there's, like what I found too is a lot of hikes, especially, well, like Madeira Island, like right now, it's not busy. It's not busy. I mean, we can have it, some of these hikes we'll have to ourselves. We won't see anybody else out there, which is really cool. It's going to get busy. This island is going to get busy in the upcoming years. It's very much like other hikes that have been really unique. People go home, put it on social networking, and then before long, you've got to get permits or timed entries. So, I mean, this place is basically, I refrain from using the word untouched, but it's certainly it's not busy. So this is the time you want to go, to get Madeira Island in, because I see pictures going back and social networking, and people are going to want to go. Portugal is very affordable. I mean, food is fairly inexpensive. You can get in some cases, a 3-course meal for 11 euros. So I find it quite inexpensive. So it's the time now to do Madeira Island, because I can see it in the future getting just that much busier, getting more people. It's getting more traction. People are, there's Facebook groups about it now, and you don't want that. I mean, I always try to hike where people aren't. So it's a time now to see it. I don't know if anybody has any questions. I mean, certainly, for me, I mean, I was pretty impressed with it. I've done a lot of hiking in the States and overseas, but I mean, this is a hiker's hike. I mean, I think everything's there. Every day is a technical challenge. I mean, that's why I kind of want to have a little bit of like control on who's going as far as abilities, because we're going to need everybody to keep up. Okay. Barbara's going to help out, and we've also got our local guide. He'll be leading, and I'll be there as well. So, yeah, if anybody's got any questions, we do look, it's a $300 deposit to secure your spot. I mean, it is February 8th to 18th. We got a bit of time. I mean, I'm recording this now. I'll have this available for you to watch. I wanted to give a little bit of the details on the hikes, but not a lot, because it's more to be surprised. I mean, a lot of people are Google hikers, they'll go to Google and investigate everything. And I don't know, it's something to be said for just, finding these things, exploring it, without knowing what to expect, So some of these places are pretty unique, and the country is very rugged, very rugged. So does anybody have any questions there at all, or?
Are you covering the 115 kilometers, it's covered the whole island, 115 kilometers?
No, that's the ultra trail.
Okay.
That's a couple of days. That is the ultra trail. We're doing the highlights. So we've got, I mean, 8 days of hiking there. So we've got, pretty much all 8 days planned out. So we're going to we'll do a little bit in the west, a little bit in the east. When you fly into Madeira, it's a very small island. You'll see quite a bit of where we're going. But we're doing just all the highlights.
And the other question is there anything else beside the hiking in that island to do? Is it kind of the water is possible to stay longer and then swim, book extra days there or not?
Yeah, definitely. The water is going to be a little cooler, being February. I mean, I took my shoes off. I walked in the water. Actually, I went in the water. I went in the waterfalls as well too. So it's a little cooler, but it is worth it. I mean, Like the Fontes hike, I went in the water there. I thought that was great. Uh, the ocean was cool at that time. And we do a lot of beach walking too. Like there'll be times when we'll walk the beach, like especially for the sunset, because we're right on the beach. Uh, we can either walk left or right and walk the beach, but the water will be cooler. We had it set because of logistically when you fly in, we go from Lisbon right to Madeira. Uh, Nushin's a better one to answer about extending your trip. We're recommending to the Americans to if they want to extend their trip to do it at the beginning rather than the end, just because of their flight situation, where we are a little more fortunate that we have a direct flight to Madeira, so we're a little better off. So again, Nushin can answer that question. Uh, we're just trying to get everything that the island has to offer. So we've got the right guide. We partnered with the right guy. You'll see from his Instagram, he's born and raised in the island, and so he's got lots to interpret and lots to show us. So it's a good fit. Any other questions?
Yes.
Right.
And somebody asked about what do you recommend about packing lunches?
Well, usually what we've done in the past is when you have breakfast, you prepare your lunch. We've done that on a number of occasions. So, bring Tupperware and because we're going to be remote. Okay. Some days, like we're going to be out for at least 6-7 hours a day. So, obviously we'll need lunch. So I would think, your routine would be to get up in the morning, go for breakfast, and then prepare your lunch. So when you have your breakfast, prepare your lunch and, fill up your water bottles and we'll be out for the day. We'll try to get back in reasonable time because, the island's not that big. It's not that big. So, some of the bigger hikes we're doing, are 5 or 6 hours, we should, I try to fill the day up. We've got like the Montes, the Japanese garden. We've got a couple of little things that we're going to do that are more touristy, but easier, just more of a walk. So we don't want to burn you out with too many tough hikes. I know when I went hard at it for 4 days and, my calves were burning. I was rough. It was pretty rough. So, but I was trying to cover a lot of ground. So we're not going to do that to you guys. We're going to have some tougher hikes and then some easier hikes. And, if we have a tough hike, it'll be an easier afternoon. Okay.
I have a question, yeah. So how do I know that I am suitable for this group and hike? How do I know from my physical strength?
Well, what we'll do is we'll talk you can reach out to me and we'll talk on the phone. And I'm just curious to see what you've done before. As far as hiking, we have things in place if people have trouble. We just like everybody, we'd like everybody to succeed on everything. So, we've got things in place to help out if people have a problem. But in general, I would talk to you on the phone and find out, what you've hiked before. And if you want to, like I have a hiking group, you can come out with our hiking group and come out to a hike. I'd meet you there and, we'll take you out for the day, for a hike and we'll see. Well, you'll certainly know, as far as your abilities are concerned. You said you wanted to bring your daughter as well, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because I have done some hiking, but when you are mentioning that, is a 400 meter, is the height, I don't know, I cannot imagine what kind of, trail is it. This trail you are talking about is rocky trail or is a trail that I'm going, for example, in Beach group, we go high and then, so I cannot imagine how difficult is it.
Well, what you'll have is like these are going to be rocky, very rocky trails. Okay. Now some of them have, they have pathways. Some have pathways. Some are dirt trails, but there's a lot of rock outcroppings. So, some of these hikes, every step is up or every step is down. So, you spend the time traversing the mountain to the canyon to the canyon. So there is some up and down. So, accumulated, you could accumulate, 400 meters of elevation going up and down in that day. So it's a matter of, we don't really have a great gauge here. Like it's hard for me to gauge people's abilities unless I go hiking with them and take them on some hill hikes.
Yes.
Because like in Phoenix, it's different because we say, have you done Camelback Mountain? If they say yes, how long did it take you? Okay, fine. Then we know you can do 1,800 feet of elevation. So we kind of know that. Here we don't have any hills. I mean, if you want hills, you really got to go down to, New Hampshire or the Adirondacks, so there's not really a lot of tough hills. So it's tough to train for these types of hikes other than getting your cardio in place for the
Yeah.
distances. And I mean, we're not going to be hiking at a fast pace. Like,
Yes.
we're going
Okay.
to
What is the speed or velocity
it could
of?
be 4K per hour.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And see, sometimes, with elevation, you go, 1,000 feet of up per hour, but we're not going to be going hard at it because it is very beautiful. I mean, we're just out for the day.
Yes. Yes.
It is going to
Exactly.
be taxing on you because, physically, it's as the day goes on, you're going to, your knees are going to swell, you're going to feel a little bit, you're going to feel the distance. So it's just going to be a little more of a challenge. Like sometimes you have some canyon hiking where you're up on the way out. Like when we do the Pico hikes, we go down and then up. It's just like a big U shape. So you go down and then you're a little bit ups and downs, and then coming out is probably an hour of up. So that's where the challenge happens. But you just set your mind to it and just keep going forward.
Okay.
Okay, but
Thank you.
we can talk, and certainly, if you hike with Mitch, or we can talk about maybe getting on one of our hikes or something, and seeing how you do. Okay, we've got some for that. So
Thank you.
okay, anybody else or
Ian, hi, it's Suzanne.
yeah, Suzanne. Yeah.
I'm just curious because you said 6 hours maybe out doing a hike, and there isn't much to do in the afternoons. What do people do to?
Well, we're gonna like some of the days, like if we get an early, like there's 2 or possibly 3 days we might get up early for sunrise. In that case, we'll have something in the afternoon which will be more touristy. Okay, so we've got a couple of options that we can do that are more tourist things to see. We have the shuttle it's available to us for that day, so we'll find something easier to do that afternoon, and then we'll try to get back to the hotel at a reasonable time because it's been a long day for you already. Some of the days we'll start at we'll get up at we'll have breakfast at 7. Maybe we'll leave at 8, and then we're out for 6 hours then. So there is lots to do. I mean, the beach is wonderful. The towns are wonderful. We are in town. We are in the main town. So we'll make sure we can find, like, that's what I'm going to be looking for, other options for us to do other things. I mean, but on those sunrise mornings, you will be tired. I mean, they will be long days. So
Not as long as New Hampshire.
yeah. Yes. So, but good. I mean, it is like I think that, I mean, I was impressed with it when when you fly into it. It's not a very big island. You can actually see one of the hikes one of the hikes we do right from the plane as we land. Very tiny island, and I mean, a lot of people have been to the Azores. I mean, I like this one much better. I mean, I think this is a hiking thing. They've compared it to a lot of other places. But right now it's not busy. It's just not, there's not, some of these hikes we'll have to ourselves. I mean, when I was there was a couple of hikes I had to myself. I didn't see anybody else out there. I mean, that is great. But I mean, I would think in 2-3 years, it's going to get real busy. And there's going to be a lot of people on these trails with social networking and photos, and everybody said, where's this? Where's that? And again, Portugal's fairly reasonable. I mean, as far as meals and other things. So.
Do we spend any time in Lisbon?
Well, no, we don't at this point. No, when you fly into Lisbon, we're just basically, we have like maybe an hour connection, not even an hour, I don't think, to get on our plane to Madeira. Nushin's a better one to answer this, but essentially it's ideally if everybody comes in first, like especially the Canadians, to come in and get into Madeira, and then we do our trip. And if they wanted to do something afterwards, that's another thing. Maybe, because you're going to fly back to Lisbon, maybe you spend time in Lisbon after the fact. The Americans were doing the other way. We're asking that, basically because their flight is not included, they have actually a terrible flight to get in there. That if they come a little bit early, that would be the time for them to come early. But for the Canadians, we're thinking, come in at the right time, and if you need time afterwards, that's something we can discuss. But we do have a great flight. Air Transat only flies certain days of the week direct back there. So that's why we leave on that day and we come back on that day, because they have a direct flight.
Because Yan,
I would
sorry,
like to answer your question about Lisbon. Our flight from Madeira Island to Lisbon is around 8 a.m. So we will arrive in Lisbon around 10 a.m. And then there's a shuttle airport, a transfer from airport to the hotel in Lisbon. We stay one night in hotel in Lisbon. In the afternoon, we have a 4 hours guided walking tour of Lisbon.
oh, yes,
See
okay.
the beautiful downtown, and all the attractions, highlights in downtown, when you walk around. So that's amazing. People love it. And in general, you can spend 7 days in Lisbon and still have things to see in and around Lisbon. So if you really want to spend more than 1 day in Lisbon, you can change your return flight. If you book your flight, you can extend your stay in Lisbon.
Yeah, there's
Yes.
lots. The trains are exceptional down there. The train service there to go up to Porto or Fatima or go down to Faro. There's the train system there is wonderful in Portugal.
Nushin, if we go with the same flight, but we want to extend our stay in Portugal, so only the return flight, is it possible to change it, or other days which is Air Transat operate?
This is TAP Portugal airline, and deviation is not accepted. So if you book, if you include the flight, you have to return with the group. No deviation is accepted in our group booking. So when you book, you exclude it from your package, and you book the same flight that is published on the website yourself.
Okay, so I was just thinking halfway, but it's not possible. So you cannot do half. No, okay. Deviation is not possible at all. All right, thanks.
Sorry.
All right.
Can I ask then what the cost of the flight would be if we wanted to do something separately for the flight?
$1,200 per person is
Okay.
domestic and international flights, 4 flights.
That would be the $1,200 would be from the 3780 or whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
If I go back a couple of screens, you'll see it here. I'll go back a couple of screens. You can see here. Yeah, so these are some of the options when you book. Obviously, your room type, and if you need a roommate, and then there's an opt-out of the flight. But again, like I say, so they got to. Let me go forward here a bit. 1 second here. I'll go back again to here. So again, I'm available for any types of questions people have. Make sure I put my email and my phone number. You can text me or hit me up on WhatsApp if you have any specific questions. And if you want to assess your abilities, a couple of people are gonna, I'm gonna take some people. There's a couple that signed up already. We don't know much about. They're going to come on a hike with me this next week. So I'll get a chance to assess people because, we want everybody to kind of be at the same pace. It makes it's not fair for others if people are lagging back. We want to make sure everybody can kind of make the trip. Okay. We have things in place if people have a problem. That's certainly something we can deal with. But we're hoping that we keep everybody with the same abilities. More so because it's an intermediate hike. We would consider it an intermediate hike just because of the terrain and the time that we're going to spend out. Okay.
Mhm. Just a quick note about the flight. Because TAP Portugal is part of Star Alliance Airlines, so you can, if you book your own flight or if you book with us, you can get points of your frequent, if you have frequent flyer number on Air Canada, that's the same system that they are using, TAP Portugal. Air Transat is not like that, but TAP Portugal, you can buy with your points, you can get points if you book with us or if you book yourself.
Okay. That's really all I have to add. There was some other, we've got other hiking things that we're looking towards too. That was just like a basic overview. Again, it's, a lot of times I'm reluctant to put too many pictures on, just because, it's nice to be surprised. But again, if you have any questions, you can message me. I am recording this, so I'll have this available, just what we've got here. And if you have any questions, you can reach out. Okay. So if there's any more questions or anybody else has anything to ask. So, okay. Well, again, I'm available anytime. So we're going to close this up and I'll package this recording up for the groups. But if anybody has any questions, I'll make sure I got my email address. I'll send that out and my phone number if you want to text me. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you so
Have a
much.
good night.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good. Okay.
Hi, Barbara.
Bye.